has issued a rare call for cooperation from armed groups as it prepares for elections later this year. In a statement carried by state media, the military said it would welcome and accept armed factions that choose to operate within the framework of the law. The appeal comes amid mounting battlefield losses to ethnic minority forces and pro-democracy People's Defense Forces that emerged after the coup in 2021. But the National Unity Government, composed of ousted lawmakers, rejected the offer, calling it a deceptive move to legitimize a sham election. The junta says elections could be held in December or January, despite widespread violence and international condemnation. Now we go back to Shruti Dasgupta for this discussion. Shruti, thank you for staying with us. Why is the National Unity Government rejecting the elections as a sham? And what alternatives do they propose? And also, how should India respond to this?
Well, the junta regime is a pro-China regime, and the jade mines were under, like a lot of jade mining, rare earth extraction happening in Myanmar is benefiting the Chinese companies. The opposing factions, they're all trying to gain control of these access of resources, as well as they have large fault lines in terms of ethnicity. So the ethnic groups have bound together, formed rebel groups, and they're fighting it out between themselves for the last 5 years. Recent reports had also indicated that one of the groups had downed a Chinese-made aircraft, and they put up a review of it. The junta regime has rejected any of these claims. They've just said they've lost aircraft as such. So you can see that it is still at a head and at a boil. The elections that they keep talking about will probably be very heavily skewed and rigged. And that is why, until and unless the junta regime gives up its power and answers to the kind of crimes that it has perpetrated in the nation, the other ethnic groups that have formed that are now named as rebel groups, they will continue to face an opposition from these rebel groups. India on its term is just waiting and watching. I do believe New Delhi invited earlier sometime this year a group of these Chin groups and the other groups that were warring factions in junta to come with the junta regime, to come and speak at New Delhi, and this is what actually happened there, nobody knows. But what we do understand is this is a direct way for India to counter the growing influence of China in this particular side of the continent, in Asia per se, and in Myanmar more particularly. So we are looking at it as a developing story. I do know that it is going to be a sham election if junta regime holds the election rather than an interim government coming in place and then doing this particular honor. But right now it is just a battle for resources, and the junta regime is selling out its people very badly.
Thank you, Shruti, for staying with us.